What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about Florida versus North Carolina and which state is right for you. Let's get into the video. My name is Ramon Lomeli. I'm a realtor and the team leader of the Smart Move Group brokered by eXp Realty here in Winston-Salem, but we have connections all over the state of North Carolina. And the reason I wanted to make this video today for you guys is because over the last couple months, specifically from Florida, I've had so many calls. Now I get calls from all over the country, a lot of New Yorkers, Californians, Texans, Colorado, Arizona, but it seems like in the last 2 months, something's been going down in Florida and people are trying to get out of there. The crazy thing is that out of the 10 people I currently have under contract, 5 of them are coming up from Florida, which is kind of nuts. And that's what we're gonna be jumping into today. But before we jump into it, I just wanna remind you that if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you'd like a free consultation, feel free to reach out. That's what I'm here for. Number on the screen is my cell phone number. You can call me or shoot me a text. My full contact info is gonna be in the about section of this video. Also, I have a ton of helpful links in the about section as well. The relocation guide is really handy. People love that. That's specifically to the Winston-Salem area where I'm at. And of course, you'll also find the links to my social media if you want to be my friend on either Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. So Forbes names North Carolina as one of the top 4 states that people are relocating to. So if you're thinking about moving to North Carolina, you're definitely not alone. We have a booming economy, stunning natural scenery, and affordable housing. The quality of life here is top notch. People are friendly and you'll never run out of things to do. I also want to mention that I am in the Winston-Salem Triad area, Forsyth County area of North Carolina. So sometimes I'll make references to that just to kind of give you perspective. So one of the biggest reasons people are moving to North Carolina is the cost of living and the average home price. Now, obviously the average home price is going to vary greatly depending on what part of Florida you're in. Same thing in North Carolina, but let's talk about state averages. So the average home in the state of Florida is about $383,000, while the average home in North Carolina is about $309,000. Furthermore, things continue to get interesting when you talk about our specific area here in Winston-Salem, where our average home price is $288,000. That's $100,000 cheaper than the average price of a home in Florida. So depending on what part of Florida you're from, maybe compare Winston-Salem $288,000 to your specific city. By the way, guys, do me a huge favor. If you're getting any kind of value out of today's video, hit that like button. Maybe leave me a comment where you're watching this video from. But above all, subscribe. Those kinds of things keep me motivated to keep pumping out these videos for you. Let's get back into it. So let's talk about the climate in both states. If you're from Florida, you're probably used to very mild winters and very hot, humid summers. In fact, you're probably watching this wearing a short sleeve shirt and some shorts, and you might need a long sleeve shirt or a light jacket in the winter. One of the things that I love about North Carolina when it comes to this climate topic is that we get all 4 seasons in North Carolina, and that's something that I cannot get over how awesome that is. Now, we do have real winters here, but they're not brutal, agonizingly cold winters like some of the northern states that you see. In fact, this year, unfortunately, we didn't get snow. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on who you're asking, but we didn't even get snow this year. In fact, the temperature only dropped below freezing 2 times here in the Winston-Salem area. Now, obviously, the eastern side of the state, we have a lot of mountains out there, and they see a lot of snow. In Winston-Salem, we don't really get too much snow. If we do, it's going to be, 3 to 5 inches, just enough to see it, maybe play around in it. The kids may miss school for a day, but after that, everything's back to normal. Now, the springtime here in North Carolina is really beautiful. Other than allergies, the weather is amazing. So it's actually 80 degrees today, which is kind of a hotter day for the spring, I would say. And that's talking about here locally in Winston-Salem. The rest of the week is going to be between the low 60s to the mid 70s. Now, the weather does vary depending on what part of the state you're in, but for the most part, the weather is pretty similar, except, maybe the mountains have a drastically different climate. Our summers do get hot and muggy and humid here in North Carolina, but for the most part, we're nowhere near what I've seen and felt in Florida. In fact, I've been to Puerto Rico. That was way more humid than I've ever felt, at least here in Winston-Salem. Also, I've been to Hawaii, where it is also excruciatingly humid. And while it does get humid in North Carolina, I've never felt humidity the way I felt in Florida, Puerto Rico, or Hawaii. According to World Population Review, Florida is the 2nd most humid state in the nation, while North Carolina happens to be the 23rd. But definitely by far my favorite season in North Carolina is going to be the fall. fall. Not only do you get spectacular views of all the trees changing their colors to golden browns, reds, yellows, it looks amazing, but also the weather's a little bit on the chilly side. All you need is kind of like a long sleeve shirt, like I said, and that's what we call bonfire season in North Carolina, because everyone's out, you know, in their backyards building bonfires because it's the perfect weather. While both states do happen to be susceptible to hurricanes, in Florida it feels like you guys get hit almost every single year or every other year, while we don't get them as often here in North Carolina. And our hurricanes usually are doing damage around the coast, along the coastlines here in North Carolina, South Carolina. And here specifically speaking in the Winston-Salem area of North Carolina, it's far inland, so we're not going to get, you know, those heavy monsoon rains. We are going to get some rain, we are going to get some strong winds, but nothing to the level of a hurricane. Let's talk about insurance. And the reason I want to talk about insurance is because a lot of the people that I'm helping currently tell me that one of the biggest factors in them deciding to leave Florida was the insurance. The increasing risk of hurricanes in Florida has led many insurance companies to either go bankrupt or leave Florida completely, which has led to a lot of people being left without insurance or with really high premiums. Property insurance rates are predicted to jump about 40% in 2023, according to the Insurance Information Institute. Mark Friedlander said that the average Floridian is paying about $4,321 annually for their insurance premium, which is about 3 times the national average. That's insane. So it sounds like as far as property insurance, Floridians are having a really tough time right now. Now, the average price of homeowners insurance for homeowners in North Carolina is about $1,294 or $108 a month. Now, the average homeowners insurance in North Carolina is about $1,294 a year or about $108 a month. North Carolina's homeowners insurance is on average slightly cheaper than the national average. Now let's talk about what are some things to do in both states. Now, it's no secret that Florida is a top destination for tourists to travel to. You guys have some amazing beaches, obviously the Disneyland and all the theme parks you guys have there, as well as the Everglades. Now, one of the beautiful things that I really enjoy about our state here in North Carolina is that we have everything from the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains. We have some amazing lakes and rivers and some really beautiful parks throughout the state. We also have over 300 miles of coastline. Now, obviously the beaches are going to be way more plentiful in Florida, but hey, you know, we have some beaches as well. And according to Travel and Leisure, we have some of the best beaches here in North Carolina. The Outer Banks and Wilmington are both highly rated. Now let's talk about traffic and tolls. Now, Florida is a massive state, so traffic is something that's hyper local, so it's going to be kind of hard to define this, but bear with me. And North Carolina is also a pretty big state. So one thing though that you will be relieved to know is that tolls aren't really a thing in North Carolina, unless of course you live in one of the major cities, being Charlotte or Raleigh. And from what I was reading online, Florida has the most toll roads of any state in the US. And the traffic is basically what you can imagine. I'm assuming it's the same thing in Florida, where your larger cities, rush hour traffic, you're gonna come to a complete stop, you're gonna slow down, it's gonna take you a while to get home. However, thankfully here in the central part of the state, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where we're located, we have some awesome traffic. Yeah, you'll slow down around 5 p.m. or 8 a.m., 9 a.m. rush hour traffic. You will slow down, but the beautiful thing is I never really come to a complete stop, especially not on the highway. Now, obviously there's stoplights and stop signs, and every now and then there's a wreck or construction that will cause us some delays, but for the most part, you're not gonna have a hair pulling out moment when you're stuck in a parking lot on the highway, because traffic moves very well here and we're not a huge, very congested city yet. So let's talk about jobs and careers. So this one, funny enough, it turns out that North Carolina and Florida are very similar. It turns out that salespeople, office clerks, customer service, and food service workers are amongst the most common in both states. North Carolina is projected to add over 300,000 jobs between 2018 and 2028. We're in the middle of that right now. Healthcare and social assistance is projected to introduce the most amount of new jobs, about 81,000 in North Carolina. So I know I'm a little bit biased. I live here in North Carolina. I love it here, and I've seen so many people move up recently from Florida. So let me know which state you prefer. If you're currently in Florida, are you staying there or are you coming up? I hope this video was helpful. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Let me know how I can help, if at all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it keeps me motivated to keep bumping out these videos for you. And I'll see you in the next video.